serious thing. You can be whoever you are. You see yourself sweating, breathing become an issue on you. You are sweating and struggling with your bed.
Lolo me na me ga ila ko klabe. Lolo me na me ya ga ila ko ko e bonus ma velo o le ya ga ga ele ba no o cover o yin fi ba ga o ila ko klabe. Ila ko klabe. No me ko me nu sisi. Me ko me nu ko sisi.
It's a sickness which normally it affects only the whites, but not the blacks.
More than 100,000 people have been infected by COVID-19. Over 1,000 people have died in a year of unbearable restrictions and lockdowns. Many are still not sure how this pandemic drama is going to end. And yet, many more say everything is still a hoax. In this film, I will be finding out why.
All the people here were killed by COVID. So the whole stretch from the entrance to this place is earmarked solely for COVID body burials. The moment you enter here and we bring your body here, it's COVID. The weeds you see all, the weeds and the stumps all stand on COVID graves. The whole of the place, stretching from down there, you can have a look to yourself. Stretching from the entrance there to the end of that forest there. COVID bodies. COVID graves all. Our name is Joseph Abugri Asitanga. I was born in the Upper East region, Zebila.
Joseph Asitanga does a job many people would not want to do. He's the head of the team of environmental health workers who bury people killed by COVID-19. He works in Accra, the epicenter of Ghana's COVID-19 fight. More than 7 out of 10 COVID-19 deaths happen in this city.
The whole of Greater Accra region here, if there is COVID body anywhere, it's my team that goes to do the burial. We buried not less than 300 to 400 Greater Accra alone. I think we have buried more than 400 bodies in Kodome Cemetery here and other cemeteries.
This is a very difficult job, and the men who do it are extremely challenged. But they brave the odds, hoping that their work would go to show that this disease is real and kills.
When we come in, why we use the siren at its higher peak is another form of educating and sensitizing the public that what sort of body is AMA carrying, and they are blowing the siren like that. So the moment you turn to the car, you see my people, hey, this is COVID, Corona, Corona, and they start running away. So they get back, they also tell their people that, hey, the COVID today, I saw the Corona people, they call me Corona man.
Choko is one of the most densely populated suburbs of Ghana's capital, Accra. More than 150,000 people live here. It's a fishing community and one of the city's poorest.
Choko is a tree word, Chako. What the small I know is doing the slave trade. Till 19, I've forgotten the name, but all the slaves were brought from Jamestown to, there's a place called Galilee. And that's where they were brought, from Jamestown to Galilee. And they said that the stubborn ones have been chained. So the prison officer is a tree man, speak tree doesn't speak Ghana. So what the president will tell the president is, say also we are stubborn now, try nako. So it's that name. That's because we are Ghana, we cannot pronounce it very well. Chaco, we decided to make it choco.
And enough so-called corona. It can be treated quite easily with proven medications, not untested so-called experimental vaccines done by evil intentions.
My name is Monsieur Karen. I have 2 kids, 1 boy, 1 girl, and I've lived here for about 20 years or so.
These are some of the things flooding people's phones here.
So, tell me about what you are watching. What is it? What's the video that is?
We're actually considering jabbing their
Yeah,
own children.
antibiotics.
People who have taken the jabs are sterilized. 80% of women who have been jabbed have lost their
So
children.
how often do you receive some of these videos?
That's why I just watch them, but I don't download them because I don't want them. I don't want them on my distance to distance.
Child that grows up even at the age of even 8 years want to have phone and not just drop here, but I want to have smartphone. What is he going to do with it? They are all browsing. The youth, they are always on social media. So all this negative information going on, they are seeing it. So they don't want to take the job. Yeah.
Choco is one of the typical places where health workers are fighting misinformation about COVID-19. This is a viral video of a man claiming to be a scientist, rallying people not to take vaccines to help people protect themselves from the virus.
As I speak now, the COVID ICU is full. The isolation center, the holding center, which is supposed to be for suspected cases, is also filled with positive COVID-19 positive patients. And there's the spillover at the emergency department, who also have COVID, about 12 of them. So this third wave, which hospital is overwhelmed, all our spaces are filled. People are referred to the emergency department, and they are referred very sick. So we have a screening tool which we use. For example, we look whether your respiration is good, whether you are having headaches, the symptoms of COVID-19. So once you qualify using this criteria, then you are tested, you are suspected, then you are tested. And invariably, about a third of those who are tested at the emergency test positive for COVID-19.
In Choco, the numbers are huge. There's barely any space for social distancing. And in this place, like many other slums, there is no testing for COVID-19. No one knows the number of infections here, if any.
I fear for them because, as I'm speaking, there's a lot of betting companies in this community. We have the soccer bet, we have the champion bet, and all this is a center which people normally go there and watch footballs. And all those places chokes when there's a football match. And you see, if someone got affected, it's going to affect everyone in this community. And as for that one, it's very sure. And how we sit in our cars and those, because Choco, I think we sit four seats, and then we see how we park ourselves and all those things. So as for that one, yeah, for sure, if one person is affected, all are going to be affected.
There's still a lot out there that we don't know about this virus. We don't know how the next variant will look like.
Professor Awendare is one of the lead researchers who has been working on Ghana's COVID-19 response. He has consistently spoken about the importance of addressing misinformation about the virus.
When you talk to Noguchi and KCR and others, once in a while they come across a batch of samples there where a lot of them are positive because some people got sick from the event. So then a lot of their contacts went for testing or they were sampled, you find that a whole lot of them are positive. So it does happen. It's just that it's not reported properly, but it does happen. The point of the or the reason why you're not able to link it to hospital case is because of what we said before. That generally, the disease is not as devastating here. So if about 100 people get infected at an event, maybe only 20 of them will fall sick. And then out of those 20, maybe 5 of them will be sick enough to go to the hospital. Usually the older people or people with pre-existing conditions. The other 80 people or so, they get infected, but they don't show symptoms, and they just go about their lives, and nobody knows. So it's not that they were not infected. It's just that it's because of the nature of the disease that the majority are asymptomatic. We don't find out because we don't do research. We don't track these people and test them, so we wouldn't know.
The country is not out of the woods yet, even on a global scale. With 3 different waves of the pandemic so far, no one is sure what would happen again. New variants of the virus, like the heavily contagious Delta, are also on the prowl, and scientists are worried letting our guards down would reverse the gains made fighting the pandemic.
We need a very strong, like some institution, a very strong institution that have to take care of Choco. The way things are going, that's how I say it.
We in the community, if you are doing the right thing, people will not support you. People will not support you. You can be in the car and you tell someone, oh, madam, wear the nose mask, unless you not sit beside me, unless you not come into the car. Others who are not wearing the mask, hey, papa, car. If you like, go and buy your own car. This is a taxi, and I can sit inside with my nose mask.
But community leaders in places like Choco, who have been at the forefront of the education on the pandemic, say they haven't been supported enough to carry out the work they do. Mercy, for example, goes out to do her education with her own money, despite bearing all the harsh responses that come with it. The mainstay of Choco's local economy is fishing. I've come to the beach to meet some of the people in this business to see what they too think of this pandemic.
Choco chemunena bi alo gamanem ona ke nuni oni me piun he ye yake hilako ye ona ke boma de zanle baje enna ake hilane ene tutun de mo oshi machine ni egbone dani ebanye yoda si ake hila eba ona when
the pandemic first struck, there was wild rumor here that the best cure was excessive intake of the local dry gin akpeteshi. Many people here, especially the fishermen, trooped to local drinking spots to fortify themselves against the deadly virus.
Hilane akpeteshi alo dan jinoni banye stopule sine fe na kan na oliage taune ftm pi ajage menile akpeteshi no mo fe ageni hele ba wo besani ke eteshile bi ege fiu ayawomi.
The chief fisherman here says, with no evidence, that helped many people in the community to stand the venom of the virus, and many of his colleague fishermen did not believe they could be infected by COVID-19.
People don't believe it's real. So from my point of view, what I would prefer is, like if it will have someone who has been infected by COVID and they see how the sickness look like, how it will make you, how your body will be, and I think from there they will have some change of mind. Hey, this is how it is. You see, there was a saying that in Faton Sakrani, Petit Session, normally if you talk, that doesn't change people unless they see it. So if they hey, that's why normally I think whenever you are teaching people like this, something they have to be on like video for them to see. As for that one, they change their mind faster than talking to them. Let me tell you, but all these things to come from sometimes your people. There was a man, I don't even want to call a name. There was a man who got died here, and what he had is the COVID. So they said they shouldn't bring the body to the house from the mortuary straight to. If it's the government who gave date for the man to be buried. Or what we know is the COVID. We were here when a team came and sprayed all his room and his car, everything. But later, they brought the body in the house. Yeah, I'm telling you the true fact. Or these are all the things we doesn't believe is real. My people doesn't believe because if it's something very deadly and dangerous like how we have been hearing it, and if the government have put in some measures to it, and then even the government have given a date for the body to be buried, for people even they say they're not allowed to see the body, and later they divert the body to the house for people to see, and later people will not believe COVID is real. So these are some of the things which my people see and they say COVID is not real. Because this is the typical example I'm giving you. Typical example. We were here all of it that they say the man have gotten, but because of coronavirus, we were here, they brought some things, they spray everything. Or the government have given date for the person to be buried and all those things. And later, they brought the body to the house.
So then you said if you take people here, about 70, what percentage of people don't?
Almost 90%. Doesn't believe COVID is real in this community.
And how does that make you feel?
I feel very sad because during the lockdown, there was a lot of interviews. If you see how my people have been, what they have been saying about the COVID is very sad. They say COVID is not real and it's never be real. Even if it's real, it cannot come to this community. But if it catch you, you take alcohol or you go to the seaside, you bath with the sea, we are okay. That's why during the COVID time, they all went to the big side to wash. As you can see, it came on social media, it came on TV and everything. They all at the seaside. Because whenever you enter into the sea, you wash yourself, you are free.
At the beginning of the year, the world was lucky. Research work that started right at the beginning of the pandemic yielded results. There was a major breakthrough as leading pharmaceutical companies like AstraZeneca, Pfizer and Moderna were able to develop vaccines that would protect people from infections and deaths from the virus.
The vaccines that are in use now were made with the original variant in mind. So they used let's say the blueprint of the original one to make these vaccines. So all of them are meant to respond to the original, virus that came from Wuhan.
Ghana has so far received around 5 million doses of these vaccines, largely donations from rich countries under the WHO-led COVAX program. In communities like Choco, however, there's a huge pushback and an anti-vaccine feeling.
Taflache wa adesan hilamo bodani sanabu ona abana ge ichogba mo jinu ni yoyi ona kana ge ichogba mo yoyi den abana ichogba mo chofan ni agwagbo si na bo ni o ichogba abo ni age o ichogba abo na ge ichogba mo musu kon chofan ngbobo alo ichogba mo chofan age ngbobo ko ba wabo be yin wabo no me bi nyabu mi ne ge ni nka wo ne onu pa ji mi si ngbogo eko ajage ni eko wa yin ma ke mo kwa ge sanegbum.
There were some videos that came out that we shouldn't take the vaccines. The vaccines kills and it's not good, that the whites want to eradicate the blacks, and some videos that came out, so it puts them off.
Very little is happening in places like Choko to tell people more about COVID-19. Many continue to hold on to their fears and beliefs about this virus and the vaccines to prevent it. As with the virus itself, no one knows what may happen next. And in Choko too, it seems nothing about people's beliefs will change soon.